Hey guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews, and today we are going to review the PlayStation VR headset. So, I picked this guy up on Black Friday, well, Cyber Monday actually, but during the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, mostly because they were running it so incredibly cheap. With that being said, I have gotten quite a bit of time with it so far, and I've played pretty much all of the games that I have. And there are a lot of games that even had extra supported content that I had already owned. And it was free content. Now, that being said, we're going to talk about the actual headset itself, and then we'll jump into some of the games and really what options you have with PSVR and what's your upside downside. Do I think this is right for everyone? Is it worth the money? There are a lot of different things we will talk about here. So a lot of you know I've always been a little skeptical of virtual reality as a whole. Now, personally, I did decide to go with PSVR, because it is the cheapest of the VR headsets, which makes its entry level a lot more satisfying and palatable for someone who maybe doesn't really have the budget for an Oculus and the upgrades they might need for their PC to make it want to run. Now, with that being said, is this the highest quality graphics in a virtual reality headset? No, I've used Oculus, I've used Vive. Both of them have a higher quality of graphics. But I will say this is one of the more comfortable ones to wear. It is extremely light, it doesn't really put an overwhelming amount of pressure on your head, and it's decently comfortable to wear. Hooking it up to the TV is also fairly hard. Or fairly not hard. It's fairly easy is what I meant. The only downside with the original version, which is the one I got because it was on sale, the only downside you have with that is that HDR pass-through doesn't work. So I actually have two HDMI cables right now behind my PlayStation, and I switch them out from when I want to play just a normal game in like 4K HDR, or when I want to play in virtual reality world. And that's been fairly easy for me. That's not a big problem to me. I have the PS4 Pro, so I am basing the graphics and everything that I see off of the PS4 Pro version of the VR headset. And it does run very smooth. I don't run into a lot of bugs. There aren't that many issues with most of the games that I've played. If you like indie games, you'll probably absolutely love VR. And I mean, the headset itself doesn't have the widest field of view out of all the VR headsets. Obviously, you get a wider field of view with Vive than what you would with this, or even with Oculus. But this still gets you an extremely good submersive experience. For $200, I would easily tell you that this is very worth it. I would even tell you that most of the bundles are decently worth it, depending on which bundle you're looking at and maybe which games you want. So I already have the camera, so that's part of the reason why I didn't go with a bundle. I didn't need the camera. I picked up the camera because I use it during my live streams. Now with that said, this feels like a very solid headset too. You got your power buttons, you got your volume control, your mute button, and your headset just plugs in right on here. Now, from what I hear, you can use pretty much any headset with it. It'll still give you the submersive. If you turn your head, you hear stuff in the direction that it's supposed to be coming from, which does make it pretty cool and interesting when playing certain games. Now, a lot of you probably remember the one thing that I did criticize before PSVR released was that it was using the Move controllers. And I will tell you, the Move controllers still tend to be the biggest hindrance of this console. They're not bad. They do just fine with most games. But if you turn, and let's say this disappears behind you, that hand has now disappeared. It has to be able to see the glowing balls to even know where these controllers are. And that's not a terrible thing, but I mean, I can turn my head all the way 360 in a game. I just can't take a hand with me 360 in that game. In most games, that's not going to be a huge problem, but in a game like Skyrim, sometimes that can be slightly frustrating. I do prefer to play Skyrim with the controller in VR versus the Move. But there are certain experiences that are much better suited for the Move than a controller, such as like the London heist, which is incredible. Most of the experiences you're going to get with PSVR are going to be these smaller little experiences. They might be 1 to 2 hours long, maybe even shorter, and possibly even just a mini game. Now, with that being said, let's talk some of the games. Some of the games I already owned that supported VR upgrades were Star Wars Battlefront. The original has a mission where you can play as an X-Wing fighter pilot. It's incredible, by the way. That is possibly one of the greatest PSVR experiences I've ever had. So see, EA didn't always used to be crooked. Sometimes they throw you a bone. If only they let DICE just make all the decisions for Battlefront, it would probably be way better. Battlefront 1 has the Skyrim, not Skyrim, the X-Wing fighter mission, which is fantastic. Tomb Raider also has the mission called Croft Manor. You can explore that in full VR as well. Again, those are awesome experiences in VR that are already added on to games you already own. I have not had a chance to play Job Simulator yet, which is, I've been waiting, so I want to live stream this when I get to play it. But I hear it's like one of the funniest things you can enjoy in VR. I did pick this up relatively cheap. I think I paid $14.99 for this guy. I did get Until Dawn Rush of Blood, only to find out that it was free with PlayStation Plus, because of course that's how my luck goes, that I would pick up a game that happens to be free at the moment. That is really good. The jump scares, and that's one of the things with virtual reality, is you are so submersed in what you're doing, the jump scares actually will cause you to be startled. I'm not someone who typically plays horror games because I don't actually get afraid during the games. I'm very broken from the game. I understand I am playing just a game. It's very rare that I get a spooky sensation when playing a video game. I've gotten it a lot during that. Batman Arkham VR. Again, I have not played this because I want to be able to stream it and try it out for the first time, but I am a huge Batman fan, so that's going to be happening soon. PlayStation VR Worlds. Honestly, I will tell you this, if you are picking up one of these VR headsets, this would be one of the games I would tell you you absolutely need to pick up. It has the London heist on there, which is probably still one of the greatest VR experiences I have probably played, and it is really good. Like, fantastically good. Then, you got Resident Evil in VR. So this is another game that supports it. I have played this. I even live streamed it for a lot of you guys. Probably remember that. I streamed it on Twitch quite a bit. I want to try it in VR. That's literally the only reason why I picked it back up. I got it real cheap as well. So, real cheap. I'm a cheap person. If it's not on sale, I'm probably not going to buy it. Thank God Best Buy puts pretty much every game on sale for me with Gamers Club Unlocked. Skyrim VR. So, I'm not going to lie. This was probably a huge part of the reason why I even wound up buying a VR headset. This was a huge motivational tool for me to finally want to try to take that dive. My biggest complaint's always been that VR only had these small little experiences. Now, I can tell you that those small little experiences are probably some of the greatest experiences you're going to have in virtual reality. Not taking away from Skyrim. Skyrim is fun, but I was hoping for it to be a better experience with these. My issue is the way that you move around in VR. So you point one controller and you teleport to the location you were wanting to go. It's not terrible, it's just not as immersive as what it could be. If I were walking and moving, it wouldn't feel like I'm teleporting. It kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. That's also a part of the reason why I haven't picked up Doom VFR, is because it moves around in the same way. That's not saying that I won't pick it up, it's not on my immediate, I need to get this kind of list. I do want to try Farpoint, that's another one I'm going to be picking up, and Riggs is another one I'll be picking up. And so far, I've absolutely loved the PSVR. Now, here's the thing. Is it right for everyone? No. I can easily tell you not everyone is going to be happy having all of these small little experiences. But I can tell you those who wind up appreciating stuff like Game World and stuff like that and appreciate these different little experiences are going to love them. I mean, flying an X-Wing is literally one of the most memorable experiences you could ever have. Like, that's something you fantasize about as a kid. Being in the cockpit of one and feeling like you were in the cockpit of one is a whole new level of amazing. Now, with that being said as well, $200 isn't as bad of an investment as what $300 or however much the bundle itself would cost you. Now, if you happen to be a select number of people that Sony has selected on its PS Plus list, you may have had the chance to go ahead and enter to get a free trial of PSVR. And you might wonder, what do you mean get a free trial? Sony selected certain PS Plus members and emailed them, and essentially you were able to try PSVR in your own home for 14 days. If you kept the headset and did not send it back before the 14 days, they took it as you wanted to buy it and charged you for it. So now, being able to try it at home is a whole different experience, and I think that's the biggest hurdle that virtual reality is going to have, is getting it into the hands of people who may actually want to buy it. Again, as I said, it's really hard to say this is right for everyone, because not everyone's going to enjoy this experience. Most probably are. I'm someone with glasses, and that's been a big keynote for a lot of VRs, is, will it work? Most people think, oh, my vision might be too bad. I'm legally blind in one eye. The experience has been fantastic for me. I can play it with my glasses on. I prefer to not wear my glasses when playing it. It's just more comfortable on me during that. You kind of have to keep it a little bit further away, and then you can kind of see a little more light coming through. I have very good vision in this eye, so I normally just play it without my glasses on. If you do have the opportunity to try out the trial, I would give it a chance. I would definitely check out PSVR. If you do wind up liking it and they charge you for it, you get the camera, the headset, Skyrim VR, and the Move controllers for $300. It's not bad. I paid more than that for those 3 items than I even needed. That's not including the camera. I think I paid $30 for the camera. I got it on sale one year. But I will say this. It's going to give you experiences that are super immersive and that you're only going to be able to experience in virtual reality. I mean, my wife still hasn't tried it yet. I'm going to do a video with her trying it for the first time, and maybe one of my friends as well, because neither one of them have tried VR. It's really hard to explain to her, because like, she'll be watching, she can see on the TV screen what I'm playing and where I'm looking and all of that stuff. But it's hard to explain to her because she doesn't understand. She sees, but she doesn't understand what I'm seeing or how it feels to me. So guys, let me know if you have any questions down in the comment box down below about PlayStation VR or VR in general. And if you have any just feedback about VR in general, like maybe you have an experience with VR you'd like to share, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, you can click that subscribe button and give that bell a little ring-a-ding-ding-dong. It may or may not work. I've been having complaints about the bell not working again. It's how life works, guys. You don't always get what you want. But guys, I hope you all enjoyed. And those of you who are new to the community, welcome to the community. And stick around, I'll have plenty more content coming for you.